Yo, hello again, guys, for the second night in a row of doing a live stream. Uh, I got a really good response from you guys last night. You guys seemed to really enjoy uh, hanging out last night. I was doing a kind of AMA, Ask Me Anything kind of thing, where you guys could just ask whatever questions you have. Last night, I was working on the Master Grade Providence Gundam. This is as far as I got. I'm gonna, as far as I know at the moment, I'm gonna go live again tomorrow night to continue work on this. But the way just my schedule of when I've got time planned out for working on this, and when I've got time for like uploading videos and stuff like that, the videos that I have in the queue, I don't really need to work on this tonight more. So what I want to do tonight is work on the decals for my Master Grade Psycho Zaku. Still got this many left. So I'm through more than half. I think so far I've got all the decals done for the mobile suit for the Zaku, and then all the decals done for like the main part of the backpack. And most of the decals done for the fuel tanks. And so basically just going to finish up the decals on the fuel tanks first, and then it's just working on decals on all the weapons and everything. So just here's a look at like the giant fuel tank. I was worried that because the decals are mostly white on here except for a couple of red ones at the end there. I was worried that this light color would be too light and the white decals wouldn't really be that visible on here, but they're perfectly visible, so it's totally fine. So I'm actually really pleased with this color. It's slightly different from like just gray primer color. It's definitely a little bit different. This one is a little bit warmer color, whereas primer is pretty neutral. But this warm color will match well, I think, with the pretty much all of the colors are warm colors, obviously yellow. And then all the grays I chose because I have like a million different gray colors of paint. So I chose all ones that are warm in tone so that they'll go well together. Anyway, so just a few more decals to finish up on the fuel tanks, and then I'll be on with the weapons. That will take a while though too. Like yeah, like as you guys can see, still a lot. Hopefully you guys can see that. If I shine my light on it, it's like blown out, then you can't see it at all. So I'm trying to get a good balance here. Anyway, there's still quite a lot of decals left to do. So welcome to just this hangout session. If you guys do have any other questions, again, tonight I'm just going to be chatting with you guys or chatting at you guys and trying to answer some of your questions. For those of you watching live, if you want to ask questions, please put your questions in all caps. That way when I look up at my computer screen there, I can see your question very clearly and easily. That'll just make it easier for me. So yeah, without any further ado, I'm going to get to work on this. So first, yeah, 77 and 78. Wait a minute, but 63, where's that one go? Because that's kind of in the way. 63 is on top. This is kind of strange. Maybe there's one on the bottom. No, there's not. Where is that? Here. 74 of you guys watching now, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you for that. But out of the 74 of you guys watching, I have a good feeling that there's a good chance that none of you have used these yet, because it's a relatively new kit. It's a very big kit. It's only been out for a very short time, so I don't know. But if there is any of you that have used these water slide decals, there's this number 63 here. these two little kind of line little guys there. One of them goes here on the top of the Beam Bazooka camera, and the other one goes I can't find it. So I think that they did give some extras of some of these because from what I can tell, it does look like a lot of these maybe or maybe not. I think there are extras of a few of these decals, so it could just be that there is only one number 63 decal, and it's just there's an extra of that. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just gonna focus on the fuel tanks first. I guess I need my knife, just here in my backpack. Finished up snapping earlier today. I finished up snapping up the HG Atlas Gundam, and it's interesting. I can say that much. So the review for that will be coming from tomorrow. All right, and I know a few of you guys have already started asking your questions there. What is the cause of yellowing on nubs? Okay, hang on. Yellowing on the nubs on out-of-box kits. I'm not sure about yellowing on the nubs, but I know there's a lot of like nubs will turn white when you cut them. And the cause of that is just the stress plastic. So that's why it's important the method that you use, method and tools you use for removing nubs. Whatever you're using to cut the gate needs to be very sharp so you get a clean cut. And whatever you're using to either sand or file that down needs to do it well enough that it's not ripping or tearing the plastic, that it's just like filing or sanding it down smoothly. And so, yeah, but even if I mean, it's still possible that you'll have the nub like completely smooth, totally smooth, but you'll still see a little bit of like a white mark there, just a stress mark in the plastic. In that case, really the only thing you can do is just paint it. And that's what I would recommend you do in that case. Yeah. How much money do you spend on Gunpla a year? Well, not that much, I think, because as you guys may know, all the new Gunpla that I get from my awesome sponsor. So all like the new Gunpla, most of the reviews and stuff that you guys see is supplied by my sponsor. So really the only Gunpla that I spend money on is if I'll occasionally like order something, just like an older kit or something from HLJ, or third-party kits. And so not all that much, but still a couple $100, I would suppose. More than I should, considering that I already have more than enough kits, obviously, to work on. What is your plans for the non-grade overflag? The non-grade overflag kits, I'll probably paint them in like a sort of like realistic aircraft like colors, so like just like gray kind of colors, so that they have that look of like realistic aircraft. I think that will be a cool look for those. I have pretty much the exact same plans for the HG Arc Gundam. Arch or Arc, I don't know however you want to pronounce it, but I reviewed that kit a few months ago, and I talked about that in my review, that was my plans for painting that kit. I have the same plan for the overflag as well, which Both of those are from Double O. So apparently, when it comes to Double O kits, I like Double O kits that can be painted up, or that look good, or that I think would look good, painted up in like realistic aircraft colors, apparently. So recommend a third-party brand. Recommend a third-party brand. My recent experience around the end of last year painting the Dragon Momoko Strike Noir was quite nice. My first experience with Dragon Momoko was their Tallgeese kits. I built their Tallgeese 3 and Tallgeese 1, and I was not happy with those at all, and that made me just not interested in any other Dragon Momoko kits after that. But a lot of people really wanted me to give them a try again and said their newer seed kits were so much better. And then when I visited the Philippines, I got given a handful of Dragon Momoko kits, a few of them from friends there in the Philippines when I was there. And so the Strike Noir actually was given to me by another friend, not from the Philippines. But just my point is, I also have just the Launcher Strike and the Skygrasper for that, and the Akatsuki Dragon Momoko kits I have as well. Those are all from folks in the Philippines. So need to get around to those someday. But Dragon Momoko, their recent kits, at least their Seed Series kits, Masquerades, are quite good, I think. Still not totally Bandai quality, but they're pretty close. So that's pretty good. I think Dragon Momoko is probably one of the more solid third-party kits. Obviously, Mechanicore as well, but I honestly don't have like any experience building them. But they're super nice. Zach, can I see pencil? No, Josh, no, I'm not gonna go get pencil. Sorry. Especially just because I'm doing water slides and I don't want any dust or cat hair around what I'm doing here. So I especially don't want to increase the chances of that by bringing my cat in here. Question is the PG Unicorn Banshee Norn Psycho Frame UV light reactive? Like, okay, I heard from Alex that you, Steffi, you were asking this a lot yesterday as well. Yes, the Psycho Frame of the PG Unicorn is UV light reactive. That's kind of like, that's the whole gist of the thing, is that it's UV light reactive, because the UV, the lights in the LED system are not colored. So all the color that you see from that kit when the LEDs are on is coming from whatever color the plastic is. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, and hopefully that answers your question. Alex is sighing. Yeah, sorry, Alex. Hopefully his question is answered now. Well, I really don't think that you really needed me to answer that question. There's probably like a dozen reviews of the PG Unicorn and or Banshee online on YouTube already, and they probably already mentioned that. But anyway, how to take a good photo of your Gundam? If you don't have like a light tent, like a photo tent or something, or even if you don't have like a really great camera, the best thing to do is just go outside. Just use natural sunlight. On when you have a good day. I was gonna say on a sunny day, but actually on an overcast day is better. When you've got just a little bit of cloud cover, that acts basically as a filter, kind of basically the same thing as why you use a photo tent. Okay, I was gonna say that wraps up the large booster, but there are still a few more. So yeah, if you want to take some nice photos and you don't really have a really nice, like, proper setup, just go outside. That was probably the best thing to do. Do you feel like the Mechanicore kits are over stylized? No, I don't think so. I mean, I like that the Mechanicore kits are very stylized, because that makes them more unique, I think. makes them just different. Especially if it's a kit like, for example, their Mechanicor's Cubile kit. Like Bandai makes a 1/100 scale Cubile. So if Dragon Momoko, or sorry, if Mechanicor made one, I guess your question is it over stylized? I mean, because there's a difference between it just being stylized and over stylized, I guess. But I think like a good example of just stylized would be like Dragon Momoko. In some cases, I guess, like comparing Bandai's Master Grade Strike Noir to Dragon Momoko Strike Noir, the Dragon Momoko one is more detailed. I wouldn't exactly call it more stylized, but anyway, I don't know. I guess. Do I think Mechanicor's kits are too stylized? No, I don't think so, in my opinion. But a lot of people probably would say yes, or they're just not into the designs. That's cool too. Whatever you're into. Is the full armor unicorn green frame good? The full armor unicorn green frame good? Gunpla Builder Darren's asked. I'm guessing you're talking about the perfect grade kit. In which case, the kit is exactly the same as the regular kit, except that it has a green frame, and it comes with some extra parts for the shield funnels. And so, is the kit good? It's really expensive. So, I mean, I definitely wouldn't like exactly recommend the kit just because it's just too expensive. But if you really want it, then you really want it, right? So that's up to you. I can't really tell you to buy that or not. Yeah, guys, please no spoilers. I talked about this last night. I personally really don't care about spoilers because it doesn't really bother me that much. But other people don't like that. And I want people to be able to enjoy hanging out here in the chat and in my comment section of my videos without seeing spoilers if they don't want that. So just please don't. No one likes that. Like if you post a spoiler like, oh, Mikazuki's arm got cut off. Obviously that's not a spoiler, I'm just making that up for example. If you posted a spoiler like, oh, Mikazuki's arm got cut off in the new episode. Oh, really? That's awesome. Thanks for telling me that. Like, what's the point? Who's gonna say that? I guess maybe someone else who's seen the episode will be like, oh yeah, that was awesome, or like you guys can talk about that, but just don't post spoilers. It's just, there's not really any point to it, right? If you really want to comment something and you can't think of anything else better to comment, just say hi. I actually get that comment relatively often, probably about once a week or so. I get someone that just comments just hi. Anyway, can you still save a decal even after the sticky part has dropped on the floor? If it's a waterslide decal, probably not. Waterslide decals are not that resilient. So yeah, just that's the short answer. No, probably not. If you mess up waterslide decals at all, they're usually pretty much just done at that point. So that's why you have to be careful. So far, because there's just so many water slides with this kit, I have messed up a couple already. I think 2 I've messed up, but luckily they haven't been like really super important ones. So it hasn't been any kind of like major catastrophe. I'm not using the, like, one of the decals that I messed up was just kind of pretty simple, just like caution marking. And I'm not using the heat hawks with my kit, so this actually comes with a couple of decals that you're supposed to use for the Heat Hawk. But since I'm not using it, I didn't even paint it. I was able to just use that. That's just a similar kind of just generic marking decal. I was able to use that in place of the one that I messed up. So it was all good. Someone asked just earlier today when I was just checking some of the new comments. Someone asked about like if I sell my kits, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I'll just mention it again now, just in case any of you guys are interested. That once I'm done with this Master Grade Psycho Zaku, I am going to be selling it. That's my plan. So if you're interested, just be aware of that, I guess. Zaku, do you use metal detail parts? No, I don't. I personally don't really like the look of metal detail parts. They look fantastic on some other people's builds, but that's just not really the style that I like for my own personal builds. I mean, like the point is that they're supposed to like kind of make it look more realistic. And I guess like if you use the right parts in the right way, I think they probably can. But it just doesn't really fit my personal aesthetic taste. What can you say about your first MG Gundam build experience? My first MG, I believe, if I remember correctly, was the God Gundam, the Master Grade God Gundam, which is a pretty old one. That was probably one of my first kits in general. So I think like the fact that it was an MG compared to an HG or anything else. My first kit that I ever built was just a non-grade, or no, it was an HG 100 scale. Anyway, my point is that the grades, I didn't really know that much about it, so it didn't really mean that much for me. It wasn't like, oh, my first master grade, wow. It was just another kit, so I don't think it was like that special. Obviously, it was like bigger and more detailed, but that kit is, yeah, quite old, so it's really not like that detailed at all. With like an inner frame and all of that, I mean, so yep, if I remember correctly, that was the first master grade that I ever built, though. I really think that it would be nice to have to get like a series of 2.0 master grade G Gundam kits if they did like the Shuffle Alliance suits, like obviously the God Gundam, the Bolt Gundam, the Master Gundam, Maxter Gundam, Master Gundam as well. Was it the Dragon Gundam and the Rose Gundam? If they did that, like similar how they did like the Seed series, like the GAT series, Master Grade kits a few years ago, that'd be pretty awesome. I'd love that. But who knows? Yes, finally got a genuine answer, which lasted so long. Yeah. Hope you're happy with that. So yeah. Kind of the most annoying decals for this kit, I'll tell you guys, are like the lines that go around stuff. So like the backpack, I have the parts over there, so I can't show you quite easily at the moment, but like, you know how the backpack has like the kind of two fuel tanks on the top and bottom, not like the huge long fuel tanks, I mean like part of the main backpack, like directly on the back of the Zaku. And like the top and bottom of that backpack are fuel tanks, and they have like the parts that go off to the side with the like 5 thruster bells on each section. Well, first of all, just all those thrusters are just a pain, but then they have 4 of these like little line decals that go around the outside of there. Those just take forever and are annoying. And then these fuel tanks have similar decals. I mean, like these. Can you see that? I'm trying to take a light off that. Like these lines that I have to wrap around. They've got them there. They've got them here at the end, going around there like that. They're just kind of annoying. So I think the decals on the main fuel tank are now done. Gunpla Duran's now asks, do you have a high new Gundam? I have both the original Master Grade High New that I got on my first trip into Japan in 2009. So I don't actually have that kit here. That's at my parents' house in America. And then I have the Master Grade High New Verka as well. That's here. I reviewed that very early on in my channel. I think that's probably within the first 100 videos, probably. 35. Okie dokie. Whether the price of the Gunpla will be increased or decreased after assembled. I'm not, when you're asking about the price of Gunpla increased or decreased after assembled, I'm not really entirely sure what you mean, but I think maybe you're asking if, like maybe after you've built your kit and then you decide you don't want it for whatever reason, or you want to sell it, and how the pricing should go for that. If it's just snapped together, then I would price it about the same or less. Obviously, the price is not going to be any higher. You haven't done, I mean, like if it's a $15 kit and all you've done is snap it, I wouldn't sell it for anything more than $15. I'd probably sell it for 10, I suppose, or something like that, or less. I guess that's what maybe you were asking. You should do a series where you just do customs. Well, pretty much every thing that I build and paint, all my actual painted projects are customs in one way or the other. I'll usually at least tweak the colors a little bit. Think like the least custom thing that I've done in the past couple years was my Master Grade Wing Zero custom, and all I did with that was just just tweaking the colors just a little bit. But yeah, are you excited with the new Twilight Axis anime? Yeah, just before starting this, I shared that on my Facebook page. The news about the new Twilight Axis anime. Yes, I'm really excited about that. That's really, really great news. I'm really happy that the next series after I'm Little Orphans is done is going to be another UC series, and it sounds from what I just saw briefly, it sounds like where is that going? Over that part or on that part? Okay, what? Okay. Sounds like the Twilight Axis series is taking place like shortly after the events of Unicorn, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think that'll be cool. And I also noticed that the director is Korean. And as far as I know, it's the first time that a Korean is directing a Gundam series. I don't have any thoughts as to whether that'll be a good thing or bad thing or anything, but it's something. It's worth noting anyway. Oh yeah. What's your favorite Gundam series? The age-old question that I've answered a million times. My favorite Gundam series. Uh, it's kind of hard for me to choose just one, but my favorite series would be either Unicorn, Turn A, or 8th MS Team. Those are my 3 favorite series. Shit. The smaller fuel tanks have less area without decals, so kind of harder to touch properly. Have you built any X models from Bandai? No, I haven't. X models, for anyone who doesn't know what Erwin is asking out there, the X model series are like their model kits of like ships. And no, I have not ever built any of those. I'm not really interested in those, just to be honest. It's not to my personal taste. What got you into Gunpla building? How many have you built so far? I have no idea how many kits I've built so far. If I had to estimate, maybe more than 100, maybe 200, but I really don't know, to be honest. I would really have to think about it, and I just really don't care enough to think that hard about it, because I probably won't like. I'll probably just be like, oh damn, really? Have I really snapped that many kits? Like, in a way, I feel like it'd be kind of like asking a smoker, like, how many cigarettes have you smoked? I'm sure it's an impressive number, but even they probably don't even want to know the answer to that. Not that I don't obviously love doing this, that's why I build so many, right? But what do you think of Gundam 00? Gundam 00. I liked the series well enough. It's not one that I would say is one of my favorites. But as far as non-UC series go, I think most likely my favorite non-UC series would be G Gundam. It depends on how. That depends on if you classify Turn A as UC or not. I personally would, I guess, sort of classify Turn A as a UC series. I guess kind of, but aside from Turn A, my favorite non-UC series would be probably G Gundam or Gundam X, maybe. I quite like that series as well, more than Gundam Wing, to be honest. Do you ever build X models? Yeah, I answered that just a few minutes ago. No, I have not built any X models, and I probably won't ever. They're just not to my personal taste. Again. What Zaku MG kit would you recommend? Jens asked. Someone just asked me this a couple days ago on Instagram. And if you want a master grade Zaku kit, I would recommend just pretty much any of the Master Grade Zaku 2.0 kits. They're all using pretty much exactly the same interframe. That's actually the mostly what the interframe is for the Psycho Zaku as well. And it's just a really, really fantastic interframe. And those kits are also, I mean, aside from the interframe, the outer armor is also nicely proportioned, nicely detailed. And so whether you get like just the standard Zaku or like, um, I mean, like the standard Zaku 2, or there's also the Mind Layer, which is a cool kit. I think it's a cool variant that I would like to get someday. There's the Zaku Cannon, which is also using the 2.0 Zaku frame. There is obviously multiple different versions of the high mobility type Zaku. This being one of those. And yeah, just get a Master Grade 2.0. Will you be getting the new Dragon Momoko Death Scythe? I don't think so. I've been kind of on the fence about it. There's a lot of it that I like. And like I said, my recent experience with the Dragon Momoko Strike Noir did definitely restore my faith in Dragon Momoko as a company. So I have no question that the quality of the Death Scythe will be good. But at the same time, it's just not something that I'm like really super excited about. So if I'm not really super excited about it, there's not really any point of just adding it to my gigantic backlog already. You know what I mean? So no, probably gonna pass on that. What's your favorite kit, Zach? My favorite kit would have to be the HG G Self. Joking, obviously. There. Although that kit is not bad, to ask me my favorite kit is just too difficult of a question to answer. So it's just my, I guess it's just my personality. Maybe I just don't have like favorite things. Well, I don't know. I just like stuff. Um, but the HG Silver Bullet is one of my favorite kits, as well as the HG Yakadoga. So those HGUC, both of those HGUC kits are really super nice. The Master Grade Gundam RX-7802, Gundam the Origin, is a really, really super nice kit as well, and I definitely recommend that one. No, thanks, I've slept enough. I'm listening to Aliens, one of my favorite movies, and I'm super, super, ultra, mega, extremely excited for Alien Covenant to come out next month. Who's with me? Will we ever see a custom grays made by you? Yes, actually, I've got a few projects in line now after this that I'm going to be working on. But later on this year, probably around the summer, I would love to get a chance to actually paint up a couple of HG Armblood Orphans kits, because I have all of them, and I would love to actually try painting a couple of them. So they're relatively simple kits with pretty minimal seam lines, so I think painting them should be relatively easy. So yeah, hopefully this summer maybe I'll get a chance to paint a few. and one of them would probably be some version of the grays, I'd imagine. So yeah, but I don't know, because every project that I do usually tends to take longer than I expected. So my estimate of getting to that by the summer could end up being fall, or it could just be totally usurped by other ideas. So I don't know. Hey, if dreams could come true and I could do this full time, then I'd love to paint kits more. How long on average does it take to, sorry, the question disappeared there. How long on average does it take you to build and paint a kit? Snapping only takes a couple hours depending on the grade. An typical HG kit will take me probably around 3 hours to snap it up. If it's a little bit more complicated one, then it could be more. A master grade, again, depends on the complexity of it. Will take a couple days, a couple sittings. Painting also just, again, depends a lot on the complexity of the kits. And yeah, so I don't know. That's just a really hard question to answer. There's a lot of variables for that. So anyway, short answer would be a couple weeks. If it's more complicated, though, it could obviously take more, up to a month or something. This kit is it's a master grade, but with all the parts and everything for it, it's more akin to like building a perfect grade kit, but probably even more than that, because the perfect grade, I mean, it has a lot more parts, but this just has so many elements going on. This particular kit has taken now probably a month. What do you think is the best item to buy in Japan for a model kit fan? Best thing to buy in Japan for a model kit fan? Whatever you like, whatever you can find. Find a good deal on something, and there's plenty of good deals to be found. Ripley is so awesome. That new character, I forget the character and the actress's name of the new kind of leading lady in Alien Covenant, but if she's gonna come anywhere close to how cool Ripley is, she's got her work cut out for her. That's for sure. It's also kind of just it's also just kind of like funny to think that Sigourney Weaver was hot at one time in the 80s, I guess. I challenge you to make a custom build Gundam that looks like a centaur. No thanks. Not into that at all. We've seen some cool builds of some like custom centaurs, but that's just not to my taste at all. Zero interest in doing that. Sorry to say. If you guys watched last weekend our episode of Gunpla Talk, our guest Dennis from Taiwan, he was the winner of I think it was the 2015 GBWC in Taiwan with his centaur designed unicorn. I mean, which is a fantastic build, beautiful build, but it's just not to my personal taste. Your over-the-top Gundam looked like something from Alien. I'm guessing you're maybe talking about my Zaku Schweifstern custom build I did a couple years ago. No? Someone asked, do you do commissions? Yes, occasionally. As soon as I finish this Psycho Zaku, that's one thing that I need to be working on. Is the HG Kshatriya. You guys may have seen, I think it was earlier, at the beginning of this week, I uploaded a work in progress video on the HGUC Kshatriya. That's for a custom, that's for a commission. So I got to work on that. Just a painted build with some custom decals and stuff. And then I've got one other commission for earlier this year. I did the commission of the HG Hygog, which was like the Metal Gear Ray colored Hygog. And the dude that commissioned me to do that kit, I'm also going to be painting a Master Grade 3.0 Gundam for him. So I've got a couple of commissions to work on as soon as this is done, but I probably won't take any more. There's another one that I've been talking with the guy about it, but nothing's really set in stone yet. That one's related to the 1/100 scale bale. So we'll have to see. What is the rate, like more or less? The rate for commission builds, it depends a lot. It depends on a lot of things. Obviously, the base fees, which there's just no way around, is at least the price of the kit, the price of shipping the kit to you when the kit's done, and the price of supplies, which you have to take into account as well. It'd be like paint and anything else that is involved. So those things are just like the minimal things, and then after that, the price of commissions just comes down to whatever the builder charges for their time. So a lot of things can go into that. Obviously, the big thing is how important or how highly that person values their time. Personally, I value my time pretty highly just because, as you guys know, I'm quite busy. But at the same time, I just really enjoy doing this. So if it's a commission project that I'm just not interested in, I just won't do it at all. But if it's something that I'm interested in, then I'll do it. And I feel like my pricing is very fair, quite fair for the amount of time, because I just enjoy doing it. So it's okay. But it does take a lot of time, obviously. So you have to take that into account, and you're paying for that person's skill. And so like not only the time of the take, like let's say it takes I mean, you're commissioning someone to build an HG for you. So you have to consider you're paying for just the actual time that the person's working on the kit, but then you're also paying for all the time it took that person to learn all the skills that they're then applying on your kids. It's the same thing like with an artist, like uh, music or art or anything. You're paying for all the knowledge and experience that that person uh, has accumulated over the time to get to that point where they are, to their current skill or experience level. So I've seen this like thrown around as truth that that like commission builds should be like just 3 times the cost of the kit, which is just ridiculous. It's like if it's like, for example, an HG Armblood Orphans kit, where the cost of the kit is, let's say, on the high end, around $15. So that means $45 for a painted kit, and that is just ridiculous. Just for the time. So I don't know. If you have any other like more specific questions about stuff related to commissions, I guess maybe ask that, but I could go on about that. I don't know. How you clean your tools? Are you using Mr. Tools Cleaner? I don't really clean any of my tools except for my airbrush. So that's it. For my airbrush, I'm just cleaning it out just with cheap thinner. Just when I need to just clean it out. When I want to do like a deep clean, I guess I have some like airbrush cleaner. There's different ways to do that as well. Again, I'm no expert on that. If you guys want to know like really true proper ways on like cleaning up an airbrush and like airbrush maintenance, check out Makana Man's channel. There's probably loads of other useful videos and channels on YouTube for that. I'm definitely not a professional person to talk to about that. Shit, that's not really straight. That's okay. That'll be okay. Do you ever lost interest? I think I mentioned this last night, actually, but on this particular kit, I've kind of lost interest a little bit in ways. Not really lost interest, but I have just been like not super motivated to work on this kit at times over the past month, just because it's just not a kit or like a design that I really, really love. I'm just kind of just painting it just to do it. Yeah. How do you deal with nub marks on plated parts? That's the dilemma, isn't it? Not really too much you can do. Obviously, you can't really sand it. So you just try to get as clean a cut as you can. All right. I think for the fuel tanks, finally. Number 42. The last thing is just to put the decals onto the Zaku machine gun ammo. drums on there. Where do you get the opening theme for your review videos? All the music, typically pretty much all the music you guys hear on my channel is all just free music from YouTube's library, so including my intro song. That's just from the free YouTube creators library. That particular song used in my video intros is called Witchy Britches. And yeah, people ask me that quite often. It's another one of my most frequently asked questions, I think. What was your first kit? My first kit was the high grade 1/100 scale Shenlong Gundam. A while back, that was a long while back, probably a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago or so. I posted an image, a picture of that kit. I still have that kit at my parents' house. Do you like Kotobukiya mecha kits? Kotobukiya makes a very wide variety of mecha kits, so it's kind of not easy to answer that question, but Kotobukiya kits are usually quite nice, yes. Of the very limited few that I have built, they tend to be less builder friendly than Bandai Gundam kits, and I mean like they just require more work. They're more like traditional model kits. Just due to the shape and color of this, it's really hard to tell if I got this decal center or not. Looks good. Where do all the kits you review go after I finish with them? Guys, you're killing me with these questions. You're asking me the same questions that get asked over and over again. All of my kits that I snap up for review, after I review them, they go back in the box and they just wait there to be painted someday, except for a few. I have a couple of unpainted kits just up there on my shelf, a small handful of them. But for the most part, they're just chilling out in their boxes. Apparently, she saw an alien once. What's your favorite anime? This is another one I've answered many times, but aside from Gundam, I don't really watch too much anime. I pretty much I have watched other things, but I don't watch a lot of anime pretty much ever. So the anime that I do watch is just they're kind of like by default my favorite. So yeah, I like Gundam and I like Dragon Ball. Uh, I'm talking about like the original Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z obviously is cool as well, but I like the original Dragon Ball series the best. And then I am a huge Evangelion fan as well. So I uh, I really love Evangelion as a series, anime series. I've seen some other cool ones as well, series that I like, but also for the most part, I like anime movies more than series. So like Studio Ghibli movies and Studio 4C movies are a couple of my favorites as well. So like Tekken Kinkri is one of my favorite animated movies, Japanese animated movies. Really, really good. If you guys have never seen Tekken Kinkri, I really, really recommend you to watch that. It's a really fantastic film and manga as well, if you can get a chance to read the manga. It's available in English. So check that out. Do you plan on getting the gold Barbatos HG kit? Are you talking about like the 7-Eleven version? Most iconic Char MS would probably be the Zaku 2. Char's Zaku 2, that was the mobile suit that he piloted when we were first introduced to Char, so that'd probably be his most iconic, I would say. That or maybe the Zeon. Again, just because it's from the first Gundam series. Char's Gelgoog is cool, but he just didn't really use it for that long. In the series, anyway. What do you think about upcoming Ghost in the Shell live action? Okay, there's a good question. What do I think about the new Ghost in the Shell live action movie? As far as the whole like Hollywood whitewashing argument, I really don't care too much about that because um, although she has a Japanese name, she just her appearance doesn't really strike in like in the anime and in the manga. She just looks like an anime character. She doesn't look Japanese. Just because it's a Japanese source material and she has a Japanese name, I wouldn't exactly think that she has to be played by a Japanese actress. I think that is obviously Hollywood whitewashing is an issue, uh, but that's not going to be. I'm not going to like boycott the film because I am so against that. But I don't know. The Ghost in the Shell original movie is so good. This one has really a lot to live up to. So yeah, I don't know. From what I've seen of it so far, there's things that I like and dislike. Some of the CG that we've seen in the trailer looks bad, in my personal opinion. Like, especially the scene where she's invisible, like standing in the water fighting that guy. Uh, what we've seen of that scene in the trailer looks pretty bad, I think. It looks really goofy. But I don't know. I can't really judge it too much because I haven't seen the movie yet. Anyway, I'm planning. I'll of course watch it because I love the original Ghost in the Shell movie. Uh, Ghost in the Shell 2 was not as appealing for me. I wasn't really as into it as much. What would you think if Sunrise did a uh, did a Gundam series where like the Gundams were fighting like aliens? Not like xenomorph aliens, but I mean like just aliens in general. That'd be interesting. The thing is that they would have a harder time making model kits of organic aliens. Zach, would you like if all Bandai kits suddenly got undergated? No, I would not like that at all. I don't like undergating, and I don't really understand why people like it or think that it's a good thing. Undergating is really annoying because you have to uh, it's kind of just more work, to be honest. It feels like it's great for plated kits, obviously, but for just standard kits, there's just no point to undergating, and it just kind of makes more work than is really needed. So that's my opinion on that. Have you seen the 5 minute teaser? Are you talking about the 5 minute teaser of Ghost in the Shell? If you're talking about that, then the answer is no. I have not seen that. I don't think. Obviously, plated kits, any kits that are going to be plated, they should be undergated. And whenever Bandai releases kits that are plated or have plated parts that are not undergated, yeah, obviously that's annoying and just seems like poor planning on their part, or just lazy or cheap. But when it's not plated, yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Looking out for your guys' questions there. A little bit more towards the front of that. Best HG kit so far. Best HG kit out so far would be the HGC ball twin set. Plain and simple. Which mobile suit that you think Bandai needs to make a 2.0 version of? So, as I mentioned before, the master grade Gundams from G Gundam, I think, could desperately use a 2.0. So like the God Gundam and the Master Grade and the Master Gundam. I would love if we got 2.0s of those kits. I also think it would be really nice to have Master Grade 2.0 kits for the GP series, GP01, 02, and 03. That's my answer to that. Milk first or cereal first? Obviously cereal first, and then you pour the milk on top of that. What kind of silly question is that? Who puts milk first and then cereal in that? Then when you pour the cereal is just like floating in there on the top of the milk. It's harder to judge your cereal to milk ratio. You obviously pour the cereal in first and then pour the milk until the milk rises to the level you can tell is the right ratio, and then enjoy. Works the silver and clear paint for chrome finish for fluorescent paints too? I can't decipher what that question is asking, so you need to rephrase that question for me. Reword that question so that I can make out the question you're trying to ask. Tequila Gundam should be a PG, or what I said. What would be really cool would be to have a, like, if Bandai did a series of SD kits of like the really goofy Gundams for G Gundam. So like an SD Tequila Gundam and an SD whatever that Gundam is that's like a bull's head from Neo Spain, and then the other that like mermaid Gundam. If they made like a series of SDs of those, would be really cool. How about a ball Thunderbolt version? Yeah, I would like to get my hands on the Thunderbolt ball, but if you guys know, that was like a book pack-in exclusive, like manga pack-in. Would be cool if Bandai put out another HG ball Thunderbolt version. That was just a standard release, so it'd be easier to get. Just again, a reminder for you guys, I'm watching Aliens at the moment, and I just want to say Bill Paxton's ultimate badass speech in the dropship when they're on the way down to the planet is cinema gold. You got nukes, knives, sharp sticks. So good. Thoughts on potential real grade kits? Potential real grade kits. With the 1-to-1 scale Unicorn Gundam coming out later this year, I think there's definitely a possibility of a real grade Unicorn Gundam. Because right now we have a Unicorn available in every grade, pretty much. Every likely like grade that makes sense for it to be out in. Obviously, it wouldn't really make sense for them to make RE100 Unicorn, but the only like main grade that we don't have a Unicorn in is the real grade line. Obviously, it would be a very complicated kit to make a real grade of, just because it would have to have a lot of very tiny parts. But I think there is definitely a very good possibility of that. Other real grade kits that are likely coming out, I have no idea. The real grade line is very mysterious. It doesn't seem to follow any pattern at all. Well, that's pretty much the case for all of Bandai's releases that are not related to a current ongoing anime series. Like, for example, Iron Blood Orphans. Obviously, we get the Iron Blood Orphans kits pretty much out as the series progresses, but I would not expect for example, a real grade Barbatos. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything of Iron Blood Orphans in the real grade or master grade line anytime soon, if ever. It's possible that we may someday, but just don't really see that happening anytime soon. Yeah, I would definitely have some serious doubts about an RG unicorn. They'd have to do some serious engineering wizard work there. But Bandai's, if any company could pull it off, it'd be Bandai. So we'll have to see. We have to trust in the Gunpla gods over there at Bandai. What the? Sorry. Yeah, guys, this is a trickier decal that I really don't want to mess up, so I'll get back to your questions in just a moment. Master grade Barbatos might be cool for the gimmicks. Yeah. Really don't think that we need a master grade Barbatos just because the 1/100 scale is already really nice. But of course, a master grade would be nicer. I think there's not a whole lot of room for improvement, but of course it would definitely be nicer in some ways. So if Bandai announced a master grade Barbatos, I wouldn't say, oh man. I'd be fine with it. I just don't expect that. Do you prefer GMs or Zakus? I usually would probably say I prefer Zakus. There are definitely some cool GMs out there, but especially if we're talking like 1 Year War time and like first Gundam series, I definitely prefer like the Zaku 2 and Zaku 1 over like the GM and like gun tank, gun cannon. Zaku's have a lot more cool variants, I think, as well. Especially when you're getting into like MSV stuff. There's just so much. There's just so much of this kit. It's endless. Most preferred Kimaris variant, the Vidar. But if you're talking about one that actually has Kimaris in the name, then probably the Kimaris Trooper. I really don't like the Trooper mode at all, but just the when it's in its just standard Gundam form, that's probably my favorite of the Kimaris variants that include Kimaris in the name. But if you don't have to include Kimaris in the name, then I would say the Vidar. Time is it? Have you ever fallen asleep while working on a kit? No, but I have gotten really close to it. Uh, there's been, I think, probably a couple times when I've been airbrushing, and this is like the worst time too when you're airbrushing, but like been airbrushing and like kind of like dozing off a little bit, and that's like just bad because losing your focus on that and you're just spraying too much paint on a part or something like that. So, but never like been like working at my desk and just like fall asleep on my desk. I just don't do that. That's just never really happened to me. Like even like when I was in university student, like studying or working on a project or something like that. That never happened to me. It just doesn't really happen to me. I have enough sense that like when I'm really at that point of like being that dead tired, I have enough sense to go get into bed. Kano asks, pineapple in pizza. I don't know about pineapple in pizza, but pineapple on pizza is good. And if you don't like it, you're just weird. It's so good. Pineapple tastes great. Pizza tastes great. Put some pineapple on the pizza. It's a ham on there too. How is that not good? But I don't know. I guess people who don't like it probably have the same argument. He's coming in. I feel better already. Mm, this is another tricky one. Come off. Come off. Come off my tweezers. Come off my tweezers. Fuck. I need another hand. Damn it. Come off. Fuck. Cannot mess up this decal. There we go. Fuck. Okay, so unfortunately I messed up part of that decal. That's annoying. Sorry, guys. Hang on just a minute. I'm doing some damage control on this decal. Got a little messed up. Damn. What kind of pizza is my favorite? I don't have a favorite kind of pizza. I love all pizza. Uh, so my favorite pizza would just be whatever pizza is on the table in front of me. Again, sorry guys, just a moment. I'm dealing with this tricky decal on the machine gun here. Dang. Forget pizza, try a calzone. Yeah, I like calzones as well too. Uh, Especially here in Korea, calzones are just much harder to come by. Pizza is relatively common. There's plenty of pizza places around. But calzones, not so much. Could always just buy a pizza, fold it in half, boom, calzone. Okay. Does your family dislike Gunpla? No, my family does not dislike Gunpla at all. They don't like Gunpla at all either, but they don't dislike it. No, like it's my wife, especially, has zero interest in it. Uh, I would never get her to build anything. Um, but I think my wife and like my wife's parents and everything are all very accepting of my hobby because they also know that like I actually do something with it. I'm not just sitting uh, doing my hobby just by myself and never like actually making anything of it, but just because I do YouTube and all of this stuff. Uh, they're a little bit more into it. And then my own parents are fine with it as well. They know it's obviously something I've been into for a long time. So try a Singaporean food. If I ever have the chance, I will. Next thing, decals. There's a couple decals on the Sturmfaust grenades. Painted the end of that in a nice orange color. Pretty happy with that. Do you think we need an MG Reco? Yeah, that's actually one kit that I think we don't necessarily need. We don't need anything, but uh, one thing that I think would be really nice and would make sense would be for Bandai to make a Master Grade G Self. Because the HG is fine, but it's very sticker heavy. And I think that a lot of that could be solved, of course, if they made it in a Master Grade. But I think it's just not that popular. Erwin asks, iOS or Android? I use an iPhone and a MacBook. So yeah, I use Apple products. Not for any really super particular reason. What do you do if you have to decal on top of a panel line? Use a Mark Softer, and that will make the decal sink down into the panel line. To a certain extent, anyway. Enough. Usually works pretty well. Pentaline, decal, or decal then pentaline. Probably I would do panelining first and then decals, and then if you need to panaline over a decal, you can always go in and do that again. What is your opinion about the 1:1 scale unicorn at Gundam Front Tokyo? Well, it's no longer going to be known as Gundam Front Tokyo, but as far as I know anyway, at least the shop, the part inside Diver City won't be. But I'm really excited about that. As I said earlier, and as I've said many times, Unicorn is one of my favorite Gundam series. I really like the design of the Unicorn Gundam. I have many Unicorn Gundam kits in a variety of scales. So yeah, I like the Unicorn, and I'm looking forward to seeing the 1:1 scale version. Come on. One thing that I'm noticing with the waterside decals for this, and I guess it's been a while since I've used official Bandai waterside decals, maybe, so that's why I just don't really remember. But the glue it's like on the decals seems to be stickier than what I remember. These decals are quite sticky. Who do you think will die next in IBO? I don't know. Mika. Mikazuki's gonna die in the final episode. And then Atra and what's her name? Kudelia are just gonna live together with Mikazuki's children happily ever after on Mars. That's my prediction. Do you think it will transform at night and expose? No, I talked about this in the last episode of Gunpla News. The 1-to-1 scale unicorn, I highly doubt is going to transform. I wish it would, because that'd be cool. But if you just think about it, part of the transformation is the back part of the foot, the heel of the Gundam, has to turn up, and so basically that means it has to raise the whole Gundam up on the heel of the Gundam. So if you just imagine, that's a lot of weight that's being raised up there while that part of the heel turns. So I thought one thing that they could do is just not make that part actually transform. Like just make everything else transform except for that one part of it, which is possible, but probably it's not going to transform. It's just going to be in destroy mode. I would love to see the 100 scale unicorn, or 1-to-1 scale unicorn in unicorn mode, but most likely it's just going to be in destroy mode all the time, which is just fine. Bill Paxton is so good in this movie. Oh man, rest in peace. Oh man, my throat's really dry. It's quite dry in here, so might have to wrap up this stream pretty soon here with you guys. Plus, it's pretty late. It's just past 2 o'clock here. I do want to take the opportunity to remind you guys that this Friday, if you're living in North America, it'll be Friday evening. Here in Korea, it'll be early Saturday morning. I'll be doing my interview with Clement Ng, one of the members of those Gundam guys. So you'll be able to watch that live for sure. I like that Ricardo is in the chat asking questions to Alex. If you guys don't know, one of our friends here in Korea, Songdong, who I've done an interview with him now a couple years ago. Really great modeler here in Korea, and he's kind of like the face of their shop's Gundam channel, YouTube channel, and Alex does all of the translating for that. So everything's all in Korean, but there's English subtitles for that. Thanks to Alex. So if you guys haven't checked out that channel, you should definitely check it out. And if you find it useful or enjoyable, say thanks to Songdong, and also say thanks to Alex for translating that. I haven't had a chance to actually watch all of the episodes yet, but the videos that I've seen are all really cool. Check it out. Can't really see that, can you? It's blown up. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Anyway, looks really good. Very happy with that. Favorite scene in any Gundam series? Probably probably in the 8th MS team when Norris in the Goof Custom is fighting the 8th MS team. That I think is probably the best like mobile suit fight scene in any Gundam series. It's like actually grounded in reality, and he's like actually shown to be an ace pilot, like actually using like tactics and stuff rather than just like being good at shooting faceless grunts a bunch. Norris in the Goof Custom versus the 8th MS team is an amazing watch. I've watched it probably dozens of times. You see the new anime leak info? Yeah, Ricardo. Yes, I saw that new info regarding Twilight Access. Twilight Axis. I keep saying Access. Axis. Really super excited about that. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. So that means we'll have 2 UC series going on at the same time with Thunderbolt and Twilight Axis. So it's a great time to be a UC fan, I think. It's nice. Obviously, it's nice when Bandai Sunrise does stuff like Iron Blood Orphans, like non-UC stuff, non-UC series. They can't just do UC stuff forever. But it's always nice when they go back and do some really nice quality UC stuff. Like Unicorn was just so good, and Thunderbolt as well. So if Unicorn and Thunderbolt were anything to go off of, I've got very high hopes for Twilight Axis. Too many damn parts here. Okay. I think I'll do the beam bazooka and then call it a night. Opinions on Atlas Gundam or Gundam Dandelion. I'm looking forward to the Dandelion. I like that design more. The Atlas is a design that I've never really been a fan of at all. When it was first announced as an HG, I was looking forward to it. Now that I've built the HG, not really that into it, really, to be honest. But I don't know. I haven't worked with it a whole lot. I just snapped it up. I haven't like really tried posing it a lot or anything. It's just there. I'll be filming my review for that tomorrow. I wouldn't say it. I mean, the HG Atlas is definitely not a bad kit. So if anyone's telling you like that it's a bad kit, don't believe that because it's not bad. It's just very different from most usual normal HG kits that we're used to these days. So yeah, it's not an HG kit that I would really recommend for beginners. But I mean, there's really not that much different about it. But like if all you've ever built is like a couple of Iron Blood Orphans HGs, and then you try building the Atlas HG, you might be just caught a little off guard, I think, kind of. But obviously, I'll talk more about that in the review. So just be patient. Tired. Okay. How many reviews do you have stockpiled or haven't made public yet? I don't have a queue of reviews really waiting at the moment. So really, the Atlas is the only thing that I have snapped and just waiting to be reviewed at the moment. So right now, I actually don't have a lot of stuff. Sometimes I do have like a few, like 3, 4, 5, 6 videos like queued up. But at the moment, I'm just kind of as I'm going, so I'm not that far ahead right now, actually. Your most frustrating experience while building a kit? I'll have to think about this for a moment. Most frustrating experience building a kit. I don't know. Nothing's really coming to mind. I'm sure there's something, but I'm just tired and can't really think of it at the moment. But I'm sure there's been a frustrating time before. Frustrating experience building a kit. Nothing's coming to mind. Sorry, I don't know. Any news about Alex's MG Clear Full Armor Unicorn? No, but I often think about that. uh, and yeah, I need to finish that for him. Basically, the majority of what's left finishing that kit for Alex is the decals. And after all the decals that I'm doing on this kit, I don't think I'm going to be in a hurry to work on that right away. Did you get the GM Sniper 1 just for the gun? No, certainly not. Actually, the gun, the rifle of the GM Sniper 2, the Master Grade GM Sniper 2, uh, is actually not that great in my personal opinion. I much prefer the rifle of the GM Sniper 1, the older GM Sniper MG kit. $66. Twice or Blackpink. I don't know what you're talking about, but I am assuming those are K-pop groups, in which case neither. I really hate K-pop. Just based on those words, those sound like K-pop group names. So that's what I can assume those are. Really wondering where's the other 63 decal go? Okay, I guess it goes nowhere. I'm kind of worried about throwing it away or something. Opinions on RG Amatsu. I'm really looking forward to that. That's probably, if not the favorite, it's definitely one of my favorite Astray variants. So I'm looking forward to that. And the Astray Red frame is a nice RG kit, really solid RG kit. So I think that'll be a good one. Looking forward to that. I think that's out this Friday, I believe. So should have that next week. Yeah. What grade are those glass lenses? My glass lenses? My sight is not that good, so they're relatively strong. Gundam you want? What is the Gundam I want to see in real grade form? Like I was saying not too long ago, not really all that into the real grade line as much as I once was. So the kits are interesting, but I'm actually considering selling and or giving away a lot of the, not a lot, but definitely a few of the real grade kits that I have. But what I like to see in the real grade line, maybe a real grade ground Gundam. would be cool. Feeling pretty good now about my color choices for the Beam Bazooka. That dark green, I wasn't really too sure about that, but now the red bit's on there and the white bit for that big decal there on the front, I think is looking better. Do you think there will be a RG or HG overflag? There already is an HG overflag. I'm guessing maybe you meant to say MG overflag. And either way, a real grade or a master grade overflag, probably very, very unlikely. Any sort of another like a 2.0 HG or something like that is also extremely unlikely. So no, I don't think we'll see any new kit version of the overflag in any grade or scale anytime soon. What's the worst thing Bandai has done? The worst thing Bandai has done. The worst thing Bandai has done. I don't know. That's a really hard one to answer, but I think it was not the worst, but it was quite disappointing how obviously how little resources were put into developing the HD Reconquista NG line. There's a lot of reasons as to why that happened, I suppose, and some good reasons as to why they didn't devote the best of their kit making technologies to the HD Reconquista NG line, but it was just disappointing because we had some really cool mobile suit designs and the kits just didn't really turn out that well, unfortunately. I guess when you're asking me what's like the worst thing Bandai has done, I think probably a lot of people would say P Bandai or expect me to say P Bandai. And I'm not one of those people that really hates P Bandai. So that would not be my answer. Do you like the designs of Eureka 7 machines? I'm really not that familiar with Eureka 7, but I think from what I have seen of Eureka 7 designs, I'm not really that big into those designs. That's where they ride on like kind of like surfboard kind of things, isn't it? If that is true, if I am right, then yeah, I'm just not really too into that. Are you excited for Marvel new movies or DC movies? I'm not really excited about the new DC movies, really, to be honest. I'm excited, I guess, to see more Marvel movies just because I feel so invested in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. I've seen all the movies, and I just kind of want to see how everything plays out with all the characters and everything. At the same time, I have my doubts as to if new Marvel movies are really going to bring that much new to the table, or if it's just going to be the same thing. Get introduced to some new superhero, and they fight some bad guy, and they win, and then they meet up with other characters from the series, and then they fight bad guys, and they win. But I guess that's how the comic books go, right? But I don't know. DC movies, though, have just been much less to my taste. I get that they go usually for like the darker, grittier thing just because Christopher Nolan did it so well with the Dark Knight series. So they think like they have to try to make it like that. And I think if they tried to make something funny, like Marvel movies, with like their funny bits, it just won't really work well. So I don't know. For me, Doctor Strange was just okay, but I'm really looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy too, because obviously Guardians 1 was a really good movie, and I've seen it probably a dozen times at this point. I quite like that. And maybe do a pledge dip. Uh, Jen's asked, have you ever given up on a kit? No, I don't think so. I've got a few kits that are like works in progress that have been like work in progress for like 2 years uh, that I still need to finish, but I haven't given up on them. I just haven't been motivated to work on them. Okay, so all of the decals are done except for the bazookas, and I still have quite a lot of decals left here that makes me a little bit worried. There's quite a lot of these left, and I wonder where they go. But anyway, I've got decals on everything except for the bazookas. So I guess you just have a lot of extra decals that you can put on wherever you want, I guess. Let me see if maybe if it says anything here in the manual about that. Oh, okay, it says, yeah, use the extra water slide decals freely. So there are some extras. Yeah, okay. So that's pretty much going to conclude this live stream. If everything goes according to as I'm planning, I'll be continuing tomorrow. I'll do another live stream again tomorrow night and continue work on the MG Providence. So that is that, and that means I'm very, very close now to being done with my master grade Psycho Zaku. So yes, thank you guys for hanging out and hanging out there in the chat. It sounded like you guys were, or it looked like you guys were just kind of having a good time there talking amongst yourselves. So that's good. Thank you guys for asking questions. Those of you who submitted questions, if you tried asking questions that I didn't get to, just tune in again tomorrow. So hopefully I should be able to do another live stream again tomorrow. And also, as always, just thank you to Alex for hanging out in the chat and moderating the chat there for me. Thanks, Alex, and I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. Night, guys. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See ya. Bye-bye. See ya.